SolarHeart, Australia's leading solar water heater manufacturer, has launched a new generation of solar water heaters. This installation program is intended as a guide only and does not replace the owner's guide and installation instructions supplied with the water heater. Installations of SolarHeart systems must comply with relevant local plumbing codes. Ensure the water supply is suitable for solar water heating. If you're not certain about the site water qualities, check with the local water supply authority. For optimum performance, the heater should be installed facing the equator, south in the northern hemisphere, north in the southern hemisphere. Always use a compass to check orientation. A deviation from the equator of up to 45 degrees east or west has little effect on total annual solar contribution. If it is not possible to face the equator, the decision of either an easterly or westerly bias must be made. If the majority of hot water usage is before 2 p.m, favour an easterly bias. If the majority of hot water usage is after 2 p.m, favour a westerly bias. Ideally, the heater should be installed on a pitch equal to the geographic latitude of the place of installation. However, variation in the pitch to within plus or minus 20 degrees of the latitude will have little effect on the total annual solar contribution. The minimum allowable angle of pitch of the heater is 10 degrees to ensure sufficient pitch for thermosiphoning and glass cleaning. At pitches greater than 30 degrees, the system must be installed using special tank straps and mounted on a cyclone frame. If it is necessary to face the solar hot water heater 45 degrees to either the east or the west, a lower pitch installation will give better performance. In such cases, the addition of a third panel to the system may be more aesthetically, economically and thermally beneficial than mounting the heater on roof brackets to face the equator. The heater must be installed on an adequately supported area of roof, as close as possible to the most frequently used hot water outlet or existing water heater system in retrofit installations. The heater must be installed in an area that is free of shade all year round. Ensure that trees do not shade the heater, particularly in winter. A combined pressure temperature relief valve is fitted to the connection end of the tank to limit both the tank water pressure to 1000 kPa and the tank water temperature to 99 degrees Celsius. It is mandatory that this valve be fitted in all cases, except where the storage tank is vented to atmosphere through an open pipe. When applying Teflon sealing tape to the thread of this valve, ensure that the tape is at least 3 mm back from the end of the thread to prevent tape fouling the valve seat. The discharge pipe connected to the pressure relief device is to be installed in a continuously downward direction and in frost-free ambient. Water may drip from the discharge pipe of the pressure relief valve, and this discharge pipe must be left open to the atmosphere. A combined expansion valve, check valve and strainer is installed in the cold water inlet pipe to the storage tank. The expansion valve component is set at 850 kPa. During heating, the water in the storage tank expands. This valve prevents excess pressure in the tank by relieving cold water from the tank during expansion. A stopcock must also be installed before the combination valve in the inlet line to enable the water to be turned off for servicing purposes. The stopcock is provided by the plumber. J, K and free heat systems. Select the location of the storage tank. The front mounting foot of the tank should be positioned directly over a tile batten. Remove several tiles to expose the rafters and this batten. Measure 2050 mm down from the centre of the batten to determine the location of the collector rail. Mark this location. Remove several roofing tiles from this location to expose the rafters. Hook the 2 stainless steel straps to the rail and line up the straps with the rafters. Ensure that they are no more than 1.6 metres apart and not closer than 1 metre. After positioning the rail level, raise the left-hand side 10 mm and fix the straps to the rafters. Replace the tiles. Move back up to where the storage tank is to be positioned. Place the aluminium flashing over this row of tiles and tuck the top of the flashing under the row above. Now, lift collectors onto the roof and place them carefully into the collector rail. Remove perforated section of carton corners. Remove the red transit plugs from the collector sockets. Join the collectors together using the collector connector assemblies. Ensure the cone-tight fittings are fully inserted into the sockets before tightening the nuts. Only medium spanner pressure will be required. The cone-tight fittings should be used only once. If for any reason assemblies with cone-tight fittings need to be removed, replace them completely with new assemblies. Fit the fill assembly and the collector bung assembly into the bottom left and top right-hand corners respectively of the left and right-hand collectors respectively, using medium spanner pressure. Centralise the collectors on the rail and lock collectors to rail with the 4 collector clamps and tighten, using the nuts and bolts provided. For roof installations, slide the tank to collector spaces over the top of the collectors. These should be located 200 mm from the outer edge of the collectors and on the high spot of the tiles. Lift the tank onto the roof. Place the tank onto an aluminium flashing and locate the tank central to the collectors before sliding it down onto the spaces. Loosely attach the tank clamps to the rear foot of the tank base and clip in and bolt the tank straps. Now secure the tank to the roof rafters in a similar manner to that for the collectors, using the tank straps and the aluminium clamps. Ensure the bolt heads fit into the valley of the tile. Fit the cold pipe first at the right-hand side of the tank and insert the other end of the pipe to the lower collector socket and tighten. Remove the yellow instruction label from the hot pipe. Fit the hot pipe first at the left-hand side of the tank. Tighten collector side nut before tightening tank side nut. The floating cone tight should always be on the tank side. When in position, secure the tank straps to the roof rafters as for the collector strap. Ensure straps are tight. Replace roof tiles. Fit the pressure temperature operated relief valve into the tank as per water connection diagrams. Filling and commissioning of the storage tank. Do not turn on electric power or gas until the tank has been filled with water. Turn on at least one hot water outlet tap, preferably over a bath or laundry basin. Open the mains water supply tap on the line to the water heater and allow the water to fill the storage cylinder, dispelling air out of the top of the cylinder through the open tap. As soon as water flows freely, without air bursts, from the tap, close the tap and allow the cylinder to pressurise. Check all joints for water tightness. Turn on the electric power or gas to the booster element, ensuring that the power or gas is correctly connected. For example, active line to active terminal, etc. Operate both pressure relief valves easing gear to ensure that the valves are functional. The storage tank is now filled and ready to operate as an electric or gas water heater. To operate as a solar water heater, the closed circuit must be commissioned by an authorised Solar Hut installer or service contractor. Filling and commissioning the closed circuit. The solar collectors and tank heat exchange jacket are connected together in a sealed closed circuit that is entirely separate from the potable water in the storage cylinder. The circuit is filled with HeartGuard solution. Under no circumstances can any fluid other than HeartGuard be used as the heat transfer fluid. Only potable water can be used in conjunction with HeartGuard. For full installations, the storage tank must be filled with water before filling the closed circuit. For plonk-ons, the closed circuit can be filled. However, the collector carton must be left in place until the storage tank is filled. Open the closed circuit installation kit. Remove the fill plug from the fill assembly and place one end of the hose over the fill assembly. Fill the collectors with potable water. Continue filling until the water overflows from the PR6 jacket relief valve outlet and air bubbles stop. Insert the test block into the PR6 valve location socket and screw the PR6 valve into test block. Now remove the hose from the fill assembly and screw in the fill plug. Connect a bicycle pump to the test block and pump up closed circuit to 80 kPa. Inspect all connections for evidence of leakage. Ensure that the 80 kPa pressure remains constant. Should the pressure reduce at all, the leak point must be located and rectified and the leak test procedure carried out again. Under no circumstances must a pressure reduction be ignored. Release the pressure from the closed circuit by removing the PR6 valve from the test block. Remove the fill plug. Siphon the Heartguard mixture from the container into the collectors. During this operation, water may flow from the PR6 port in the test block. When the Heartguard container is completely empty, reconnect the hose to the relief outlet of the tank and add water until water does flow from the PR6 port. Refit the PR6 valve into the test block, replace the fill plug, pump the closed circuit up again to 80 kPa, check for leaks. Release pressure from the closed circuit by again removing the PR6 from the test block. Remove the test block from the tank and refit the PR6 valve in its place, ensuring the O-ring is in place. Finally, remove all packaging and unused items and ensure the roof is clean and tidy. The Solar Heart brand name sticker is fitted to the tank in the factory. However, the stickers for the Black Chrome Miracle and the Natural Wonder gas-boosted heaters must be fitted on site. Fill in the completion report and obtain the client's signature.
Before starting the installation procedure, the installer should ensure that they are familiar with the HeartStat system components. Ensure that the collectors are securely covered with an opaque material before working on the system. Do not fill the closed circuit until the potable storage tank has been filled and pressurised. Do not turn power on until the potable storage tank is filled with water, or damage to the heating element will result. This video is not meant to replace the installation instructions. Installers should familiarise themselves with the installation instructions before proceeding. Solar Heart hot water systems and the HeartStat system should only be installed by qualified installers. Using the measurements provided, mark the position of the mounting bracket holes on the back of the tank. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to pierce the tank skin at the positions marked. The hole in the foam insulation should be no more than 20 mm deep. Insert hollow wall anchor into the two holes you have punched and tap them into position using a hammer. Before placing the mounting bracket in position, remove the red strip from the back of the adhesive tape and place the hollow wall anchor screws through the washers and then the holes in the mounting bracket. Line up the two screws with the two hollow wall anchor inserts in the tank and start both screw threads before pressing the mounting brackets into position. Tighten the screws. Fit the HeartStat valve into the tank to HeartStat valve assembly. At this stage, only finger tighten the connections. Fit the HeartStat valve assembly to the hot inlet of the tank. Fit the hot pipe to the HeartStat valve assembly and to the collector outlet. Securely tighten all connections, do not over tighten. Fit the HeartStat cold pipe assembly to the tank outlet and the collector inlet. Do not over tighten. Fit the reservoir tank loosely in the clamp brackets supplied with the fixings in the heat sealed plastic bag, in approximately the correct position to fit the mounting brackets on the rear of the tank. Slide the clamp brackets with the reservoir tank fitted into the mounting brackets on the rear of the tank. Ensure the reservoir tank brass fitting is at the cold pipe end of the reservoir assembly and pointing vertically downwards. Fit the gland nuts and olive fittings to the 1/2-inch copper pipe. Carefully attach the 1/2-inch copper pipe between the cold pipe brass fitting and the reservoir tank brass fitting. Ensure the olives are aligned and seated correctly in the brass fittings on the cold pipe and reservoir tank before tightening the gland nuts. Care must be taken to ensure that the reservoir tank is installed with a 1 in 25 gradient. Once the HeartStack components have been assembled correctly, carefully tighten the reservoir clamp fixings. Assemble the pressure gauge into the test block assembly. Ensure that all power is switched off before working on the system. Assemble the pressure reduction valve as per the instructions. Fit the pressure reduction valve assembly to the HT55 valve with the adapter supplied. Ensure that the pressure reduction valve is fitted in the correct orientation. The direction of flow is marked on the valve. Connect one end of the commissioning kit hose to the pressure reduction assembly. Remove the fill plug from the collector fill assembly. Connect the bottom end of the commissioning kit hose to the collector fill assembly and tighten all fittings. Remove the thumb screw from the test block assembly. Open the HT55 valve to fill the closed circuit with water. The closed circuit is for when water, with air bursts or bubbles, flows from the thumb screw port in the test block assembly. Shut off the HT55 valve. Fit the PR200 valve into the thumb screw port of the test block assembly. Reopen the HT55 valve. This will pressurise the closed circuit. Pressurise the system until the PR200 valve opens or until a pressure of 170 kPa is read on the pressure gauge, whichever occurs first. Ensure that the closed circuit pressure remains stable for at least 10 minutes. If the closed circuit pressure does not remain stable for 10 minutes, check all connections for any evidence of leakage. If no leaks are detected, relieve the closed circuit pressure by carefully unscrewing and removing the black pressure relief valve on the pressure reduction valve assembly. When water stops flowing from the pressure relief valve port, the closed circuit pressure has been relieved. Refit the black pressure relief valve on the pressure reduction valve assembly. Remove the commissioning kit hose from the collector fill assembly and fit the HeartGuard solution siphon hose to the collector fill assembly as quickly as possible to minimise fluid spillage. Place the free end of the 1/2 inch hose into the HeartGuard container. Remove the PR200 valve from the test block assembly. Elevate the HeartGuard container and siphon the entire contents of the HeartGuard container into the closed circuit using the 1/2 inch hose. Water will be displaced from the test block assembly thumb screw port during this operation. When the required amount of HeartGuard solution is in the closed circuit, flush approximately 1 litre of clean water through the hose into the collector to ensure all of the HeartGuard has been siphoned into the system. Then fit the thumb screw into the test block assembly. Remove the hose from the collector fill assembly and refit the screw to the fill plug as quickly as possible to minimise fluid spillage. Fit the free end of the commissioning kit hose into the test block assembly thumb screw port. Open the HT55 valve. This will pressurise the